Hello everybody, this is Frogman and welcome back to Manufactio. Today we're going to work on episode 31. In the last episode we went over some of the major changes that I have made to the base as far as immersive applied energistics is concerned. We've now got a logistical system up and running that is doing all of the wonderful things as far as managing this building and this building somewhat and a few other things. So the thing I mentioned in the end of last episode was about trying to change the way the rail systems, or at least the outpost ore storage and whatnot, is handled. And the reason why I want to do that is because these station systems, Signals is a pretty decent mod as far as maintaining and taking care of, various things, but it seems to be pretty heavy on the usage as far as, CPU, TPS, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Let me see if I think I did a scan prior to this here. So let's see. When we look in here, you see card hopper, and then over in this side over here, the biggest user right now in the system is the Signals mod, totally, because it's the most by entity type and the second heaviest as far as event subscribers. So we've got the thermal dynamics down quite a ways, and getting a little bit more of these thermodynamic systems out of here. I'm going to knock out two birds with one stone here. So we're going to go ahead and build an applied energistics system that is going to be kind of fun to play with. So I got a few boxes full of stuff here. This is just the box, and this box. So I've got a bunch of 1K storages, or 1K storage cells set up. I have 3 MEIO ports, which they're pretty easy. Let me see. MEIO ports are made as such with some drives, and drives are pretty just, the same old pretty much recipe here. And a cell workbench. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to utilize the ability of the IO port. So let's get this down, and we'll put one of these down so you guys can see what it does. What an IO port does is it takes, if you've not used one of these, is it takes a storage cell, you put a storage cell on this side, and it dumps the contents of that storage cell either into the system or into a storage or whatever. So it processes this direction. It can also transfer items out of the storage system into a cell, and it can then move things when it's done, or move when it's output full or empty, or blah blah blah. Now that process is really interesting because of the fact that one of these 1K storage cells can hold over 8,000 items. Just one of them. So what's neat about that is that would pretty much double, or I should say quadruple, the amount that a single chest minecart can hold. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and tear all of this stuff out, tear all of those thermodynamics ducts out, tear a few other things out over on this other side, and then we're going to have a little bit of fun with applied energistics, moving items using hopefully just one minecart. So I'm going to get rid of all of these stations, almost all of those hoppers, and we're going to do it with one minecart and a couple of these things. So I think what we're going to do is I'm probably going to go ahead and just film this and maybe speed it up or do a time lapse or something so we can just kind of have a little bit of fun. I haven't done this in a while. We're going to play with this side and then hopefully play with the other side, maybe today, maybe in the next episode. Just depends on how much fun this is. So I'm going to get to it. Okay, so we're over at the unloading side now, and I have the overlay turned on from the scan that I did during the beginning of the episode, or I should say before the start of the episode. And I just wanted to kind of show some of the problems going on here before we tear it all out, so we really can't see it again. As you can see, some of the what do you call those things? The station markers. Some of them are running pretty heavy. I mean, a couple of hundred. It's not too terrible, but when you think about the fact that you have, well, I don't know, what is that, 10 or 12 of them? That all adds up over time. And of course, the card hopper that you can see right there, that's running almost 1,000 microseconds, and this one's almost 800, and that one's almost 400. Notice that even when it's not doing anything, it's still a little bit heavy. These ones, this is just the problem that I've been looking at, because I mean, even these guys, it doesn't tell you what the blocks do, but this mod is pretty intense when you have that many stations going on. I mean, the one that's in there, there's a couple of them in top of this building over here that occasionally will run well over 1,000, sometimes 4,000, if it's busy actively trying to do things. And it's just because I think he used the hopper coding to make these things work. He just sped them up, because if I put a regular hopper right there, it does the exact same thing, only it's slower. So we're going to go ahead and work on tearing this out now, I hope. Anyway, it's going to be a mess because I've got all these carts full of stuff. So, alrighty, back in a bit. Alrighty, so that's all done. Got it all torn down, and we're moved the two chests over here that had all of the ores and whatnot in it. I guess you guys got to see that in the end of that if you couldn't. The portal gun's a little bit of fun when it comes to those things. You kind of have to fly with it above your head, or else you keep running into the box, and it's kind of a problem. But um, just to show an example of the difference that made, I started out this morning with a pretty rough TPS at about 10, which is pretty bad. You know, that's pretty terrible. After I tore out all of that stuff, we're up to about 15, 14 now. I don't even know. Let's see what it says. 12. Yeah, 12. If I look over here, is it better? It helped. The reason why I got nasty is because that thing's still on doing some work, but that helped a lot. Believe it or not, that's probably going to help it quite a bit as far as some of that stuff is concerned. So let's play with the next step of things. We have to be able to get this stuff sorted into a storage system, which it already is, that can actually see what's going on with it. So the gist of the idea with this is I need to use a cell workbench, and I'm going to grab all of those for right now. And we're going to type these cells to a specific type of ore. So let's just start with this and this and this. We'll just use those three as an example. So if I say I want this cell to just hold a specific type of ore, so say iron, there we go. Now that's all it's ever going to store. If you can see right there, it says partitioned included precise. It means that things that all it's ever going to be able to hold is iron ore. So that's pretty cool. We'll do that for this copper, and we'll do that for this coal. So now I have three very, very specific things that these guys they can only hold. So that's what's pretty cool about it. Where did we put these away? Here, thank you. And then what I'm going to do with those is we're going to use these I/O ports, which that's why I have several of them, because they can only hold 6 things, is we're going to use the I/O ports to move items like this here out of, or I should say, into a cell. So from the storage that we see over here that we're going to set up as far as storage buses on those, and I've got so much storage right now, I'm going to have to come up with a better way of doing it. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to have the I/O port fill a cell. It'll then move it into this side of the I/O port, which we can then pipe out into a chest we can then put into a minecart and send it on its way. And what it's going to do is it's going to go to the other side of the station system, which is what we have 2 more for, and it's going to just take that cell and roundabout a way of a hopper or whatever and drop them into the I/O port. And what's going to happen is this stuff is going to sit in here until it's either empty or full, whichever way it works. Now we're probably going to have to use several of these, at least maybe over here, because I have more than 6. So I think I've got like 12 or 14 different things, but these are, like I said, they're fairly decently cheap to make for what we're doing here. And that's just basically what's going to happen. The minecart's going to take an empty cell or a full cell from this side over here, take it all the way over there, drop it into an I/O port that is then going to empty it slowly over a period of time. And then once it's done, it'll put it back on the minecart, send it over here. I am going to build a little bit of a redstone control, I think, just to verify and make sure that the system actually does what it's supposed to do. But if I happen to have a cart over there and we have one of these that fills up and he's not doing anything, I can send him back over here and have him pick up whatever this thing does and then go back over there and take care of the problem. So what we're going to do is let's grab us a controller, and I'm going to put a few of these away for right now, just so we can show the process. Where's my storage buses? And we're going to do some glass cables, and I'm going to grab some of that dense cable, and we're going to do this one as a cyan dye network. So where is my crafting benches? Cool. And I'm going to make some colored cables. So, just so that we have it. Thank you. And go away. We're probably going to need a few of these. Thank you. That'll work. Good deal. All right. So that also means what we're going to do, and I want those ME interfaces too. Where are they? ME interfaces. Thank you. So I'm going to trade out. I keep bouncing over everything here. The outputs here for ME interfaces. So that goes in the center and in the center. So now those guys are going to immediately just input right into the system. So there's not going to be anything floating around. There's not going to be any spare chests. This one over here, we're going to leave it alone for right now because I have a couple of systems. The mob farm is slowly producing a little bit of stuff as well, so I don't want it to be trying to cram this stuff in here. But we're going to do this here too. So click a couple of interfaces. There we go. Now, as far as getting to all of these, this is where this is going to get really annoying, and it's kind of the reason why I left this, and I may have to dig a trench underneath all of these. So, just for right now, let's get a couple of these going. Where's your shovel? Dang it. Shovel. There you go. Click. Because these should be the copper and the iron and the coal, the ones that we just typed. So, that should be coal, that's iron, copper. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do on these guys is we're going to allow them to do a storage bus and typed basically off of what's there. So this is going to be there. Now I want it to prioritize the bins that we're going to put on the end of this thing first. I have so much stuff that I'm going to have to use the bins, and I want to be able to see what's going on. So what we're going to do here is we're going to type this as a bidirectional, but I'm going to put the priority on this one as like a -10. And then on this one, we're going to do the same thing here. Get your coal priority -9. 9, thank you. And then I am going to grab the storage bin that has the coal in it. So that is going to be where? Some of the other smaller ones, we're going to use the, where did it go? Lead, coal, thank you. You are going to sit right there, sort of kind of like that. And then we're going to do this on there. You're going to be you're going to be bidirectional with a priority of, we'll just do 0 for now. That way that it's got the higher, okay, we can do priority 1. And then I'm just going to hook those up. So now we have chickens, 1, 2, 3, whoa. There, right there. Click, go. All right, so that's 3 channels. Same deal going on over here. So again, type it. Got that, -10. Type it. -9. And then the iron one, where did he go? Which we're going to have multiple irons, which I probably will just do 1, and then what we'll do is we'll have like an extractor that'll just sit there and continuously try to fill these things. Because I've got way too many of these things. Anyhow, configure that. Get this to a +1. There we go. All right, and then cable this. So, can I not walk under that? That's great. Okay, well, we'll dig another hole. Okay. And I'm going to run the cable over this way. Can I get up there? Yes. I guess you can sneak underneath of them. Okay. And then that will be 6 channels. So we're going to have to probably fool around with this, but I just kind of wanted to get this side up and running for you guys so you can see what's going on. All right. And then another cable. So that'll be 6 channels to play with. So now that system knows that those are there. So what we can do here is we're just gonna, this is probably just about as good a place as any for it, really, for right now. And let's go ahead and run this out to that, just for the time being. 1, 2, 3. I don't know why I did that. We're just going to kind of get this down and dirtied up, and then I'm going to make it nice and pretty so we can get how this, so we can just get an idea of what we're doing. Power, toolbox, power, insulated MV wire, put that right there, and that goes to there. Why do I not have high? Oh, wow, that's awesome. Okay. MV wire relays. I thought I had that over here. Oh, that's going to be fun. Great. Well, we may end up putting the power over there then. Well, we'll just, like I said, get it running kinda, and then I will fix it up and make it look pretty. So we'll do that to there. Yeah, that'll work for now, just so we can get it kind of working. There we go. That should juice him up. There you go. Let's go grab our terminal that I know I made. Where is it? There it is. All right. Now, if I put you, are you not going to be able to run? Wow. Seriously? Am I going to have to get more power than that over here? Awesome. Maybe this will help a little bit. Heh. Where is my tool? Did I put my tool away? I must have put my tool away. Give me tool. Give me tool. There's tool. Okay. So, all right. So we're storing a little bit of power. That'll help us get a little bit of our work done here just for a minute, just so we can kind of play around with this. So that guy's charging himself up. This guy's running. These are in here. Notice how they've already filled their storages up. Notice this already. That's because, again, we can see right here, it's already pulled this out of that system, and it's filled these two guys up. So this one and this one are now full in the system, as far as full as where I want to go. And if I wanted to, I can put them back, and they're going to dump as much of their items out of there as fast as they possibly can, and we can put speed upgrades in it and make it even faster. But now, like I said, again, we should see those things are over here. So that's pretty easy, pretty cool. And the basic idea after that is what I'm going to do is we're going to have the cart come over. He's going to dump off his stuff into this thing. And I was trying to get this to work with the interfaces and import buses and all that kind of stuff on a cart, and that doesn't work. So you have to use another type of thing. So we'll probably just use a vanilla hopper or a cart hopper or something. And what's going to happen is the cart's going to run over the top of this I/O port, drop off its stuff. The stuff is then going to be prototyped. The cart's going to go around into a holding station. It's going to be probably right over here. And once these have filled, or whatever it's filling up, because we have a pretty good backlog of stuff over here, once it fills that up, then it's just going to deposit it back into the cart, and the cart's going to go on his way. So pretty simple, pretty easy. It's just another one of those playing around with various things. So if I put you back over here, you'll fill. See how it's filling pretty quickly? And then it puts it over there. So now we're filling the next one. And this one, I can't see because that's this one, but that's fine. And once it's done, like I said, we just take it over to the other side. So I think I'm going to work on this a little bit, and we'll see what we can do. So I will be back. Ding, ding. Alrighty guys, so we're back. It's actually the next day. I had quite a bit of fun trying to get this silly thought in my head to function, and it was mainly due to the fact that the silly little this system over here, getting this to worked perfectly fine. Being able to figure out when that drive leaves so that I can tell the minecart when to leave was a little bit of fun. I tried all kinds of things, comparators, what are the item inventory checker thingies, all kinds of things. I ended up just having to stop the drive in a buffer chest, detect when it comes through, and then let it out of the buffer chest into a hopper. And I'm using a Project Red repeater right here just to make sure that I have a really long time between the time that heads out of there and the time that the cart leaves. But let's go through everything that we've got going on here. This is what I have going on for the rail loading station. So the minecart comes in, delivers its drive into the I/O port using a cart hopper because cart hoppers are silly fast. And then that is then filled up and sent over into, of course, this chest that we just talked about, which this probe connector seems to be about the fastest inventory reader that I can find. It's faster than a comparator. I've spent hours, several hours, playing around with various ideas. Anyhow, the probe connector detects when there's something in that chest. It sends a signal to that repeater. It then turns this item servo, or the servo, on, which allows the item out into that hopper. There is a block on top of that hopper just to keep it from trying to do any calculations, because they do stupid things, but it doesn't really matter. Just keep me from throwing things in it, really. After a certain period of time, the cart is allowed to leave, and he goes over to the other side of the thing, which we'll look at in a second. I am going to build a different type of a system on this as well. Basically, what we're going to do is, on the other side, we'll talk about it, but we'll have a wireless redstone connector thingy, wireless transmitter over here that will detect if the cart happens to be sitting here, which it quite very well possibly could, especially on these guys in here. These are some of the ones we've already started stocking. Some of these I actually had to go pre-prime the system in order to make it work. But if it's sitting here waiting on one of these, these are going to take forever to fill because these are the oddball ones. What it's going to do is we'll send a signal from that system over there that's going to say, hey, I need you over there, go. And then that's what it'll do, is it'll just go. The biggest normal problem is going to be that, or they should say, the heavier users like the iron, the coal, the copper, the redstone, those ones like that, they're going to come over here, drop off, immediately be filled, and then leave. It's when I decide I may have to move one of these, or maybe I moved one of these over here, maybe when it comes by this time and this one happens to be, one of these happens to be full and sitting here waiting on it, then it'll be, it'll just take it with it and drop it off and do that kind of stuff. So we'll go around the side over here. All of the miners have interfaces connected to them. I have the 2 excavators hooked up with item ducts, so they're taking care of the process. Again, I moved everything onto this side because it just kind of seemed like it made a little bit more sense, and I left the concrete off just so we can see. But again, we've got storage buses on the bottom of all this stuff, and I went so far as to take levers and make sure that these guys are delivering or pushing as much into these bins as possible. But that's the redstone ore, I believe. Again, got a little bitty terminal going on over here so we can see all of the stuff that we've got going. These are going to be the ones that we don't have a lot of as far as parts, pieces, things, and I will eventually probably hook some of this in. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a miscellaneous storage cell that will just come pick this stuff up occasionally. This is the miscellaneous chest for random junk that comes in, and of course my cell workbench and the other cells that I still need to get things going on. These are the ones that have stations currently that we need to move. So that is this side. Pretty simple, easy. Let's take a fly job over to here, and I will show you the other side. The other side is even considerably simpler than that. So we'll take a fly, we'll look at it. All right, cart sitting here waiting, which is good. So again, he comes across the little thing that I have yet to build a trestle support for, but yeah, we tore all this out and rebuilt it a little bit. He comes down, drops off a storage cell that is full. The storage cell then slowly empties out of here. So this is the iron, if I recall correctly. It drops this off. Once one of these is empty, it will put it over here, which again does the same thing. Shoves it into a chest. This thing senses that there's something there, sets the circuit in motion. The drive is put into this hopper. The hopper then puts it into that minecart, and after a certain period of time, it delivers or sends it off. So it's pretty quiet, pretty decent, pretty good. It works fairly reliably. I've fought and played with this, and I know this looks really simple. Believe me, I've tried, I don't know, a dozen different ideas to try to get this to work. I'm using the Project Red repeater because I can get 6 or 8 ticks of time out of that thing, so it can sit there for 20 seconds if I want it to. But anyhow, like I say, we have 2 of these guys over here, 2 of the IO ports over here, because I'm going to need at least probably another one. Probably, because that's only 12 drives. But theoretically, these 2 guys right here are replacing 12 minecarts. And the stations, and the cart hoppers, and all this stuff. So like that hopper, he doesn't have anything sitting on top of him, so he's not busy. He's not doing anything. That one doesn't have anything in it, and because I set the block on top of it, it's not doing block checks to see if it needs to pull things down. So it's not doing anything. There's going to be a random little bitty occasional go, and then the minecart takes off. So again, we have a controller here, dense cables running up, and some of these are set up, some of them are not set up yet, but again, storage buses, we have them on top of the silos so that we can keep things happy. Some of these are still sitting with the export buses because I don't have, I'm not bringing silver over yet, and I probably should. Lead, I think I brought lead over. Just, it's one of those, I've been sitting here fighting with this, so anyhow, the idea, again, like I said, is that I pre-filled pre-filled several of these drives over here, and then I brought them over here and put them into that I/O port so that this is a primed system. I could have just let the minecart run back and forth for a little while, but that way they're primed, they're ready to go, so I don't have to worry about it. But theoretically, it feels better. I mean, it's still a little ticky because there's a lot of things going on, but it definitely feels a little better. So what I am going to do, because I have a little bit of iron here, and I have a little bit of iron and lead here, what I will probably end up doing is I'm probably going to end up making a buffer system or something like that. But we're going to pull, since this is hooked up to the ME system here, I can connect this area over here, which will probably involve me connecting some of the crushers up as well and maybe getting rid of some of these conduits. I haven't made up my mind because I need these to be controlled specifically, and the way that they get controlled acts a little weird when you're playing around with applied energistics, so I may end up just leaving the conduits, item ducts in place to get out of these into those. But once we do that part, we can definitely get rid of this one and all of those, and some of this stuff for that matter, because this right here, this iron, that's going to cause that to back stuff. We're going to run an ME cable over to the sulfuric acid building right over there. So the aluminum that's sitting over here, I can definitely hook this up. So I'm going to be putting a storage system on top of this process here. Yep, I did. I knew I was going to end up doing that. Give me that back. Thank you. Excuse me. The only thing I think I'm not going to play with, I think, is going to be the outputs of the silos into the crushers and the outputs of these silos into the furnaces. Everything else, I think, even for that matter, and I think I can get down here without getting dead. Okay, cool. Even these, we can get rid of all of these. Every single one of these. So I think I'm just going to be really busy for a little while, just changing a lot of this stuff out for it. I know it's a really massive undertaking, and I may just not do I might not put an ME interface in front of every single one of these. I mean, there's 9 of these on every floor, which would mean that would be more than one set of channels. So it'd be a lot of fun. But what I can do is I could put an ME interface right there that would then deliver that stuff into the rest of the network. So I'm going to be playing around with it. It's gotten a lot better. It has gotten an ungodly amount better. Ever since I took all those, we got rid of, let me see. There's a few things over here. I think I pulled all these back. 22 of those card hoppers. 22 of them. Plus a bunch of signals and a bunch of stations. Just doing that has made the game a lot better. I haven't scanned yet today. It's still a little laggy. It's still a little framey, and the frames are going to be something that we can get rid of eventually too, but I'm not really concerned about the frames more so as I just want my factory to be running at top speed, and it's because of certain things that are causing that problem. So I hope, as far as anything else is concerned, that kind of gets an idea as for why this works so much better. And again, we're playing with digital logistics. I'm not even concerned about the auto crafting capabilities of applied energistics. It's almost pointless at this point because of how much stuff I've already got set up. The only thing that I may end up replacing auto crafting with is things like these guys right here, just because, you know, we can auto craft this if we needed to. And why are you out of heavy engineering blocks? Because you're off. Go to work. I gotta quit doing that. Are you on? You should be on. Okay, good. You're on. Whatever. I need to be able to make a few more of those for sure. Are you working? Yes. Okay, cool. But yeah, there's a lot of things that we can just change up and do a few things. But like I said, as far as auto crafting with molecular assemblers and whatnot, speed-wise, you're not really going to see a lot of a difference because the only thing you're really going to be able to craft in them is the 2x2 and the 3x3 recipes. Well, I'm kind of already doing that. and it would cost me more power. I don't know. I'd have to look at it and play with it. It's going to be another one of those eventually episodes. And there it goes. Look at it, stupid thing, whatever. Anyhow, I guess in order to end the episode, I have not done any research in a while, and I need to test the factory. So, I'm going to grab what's left of the stuff in here, because this mob farm is so good, and we're going to unlock, not that. No, not that. Not that at all. I want to unlock the Osma Titanium Alumide Steel. 500 of the red, green, blue, and yellow. So, let's see. Move you up and give me a bunch of that. Cool. Was that enough? Probably not. Yep. The blues, cool, and the yellow. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Now that's going to get us a bunch of stuff. So, Osma Titanium, Alamide Steel, or Osta Steel, is going to open up the ability to be able to make certain things, which means now we can do other stuff here. I can build the better flux ducts if I want to. I can build other things as far as getting started into mechanism, which means since I'm standing here looking at it, how much do those cost? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. But 226,000 items. 226,000 items. All those freaking silos that are sitting over there are gone now. Oh, that means we can have some more fun with applied energistics. There was something else that I wanted to do. I'm not going to do that one right now. We got this, and we keep talking about this guy. 100 of the red, green, blue, and yellow. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Go. Give me that thing. Sweet. Come on. Here, do this. Okay. Cool. That was everything? Everything out of my inventory? Nice. Duplicator. I've been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it for a while. The reason why I'm kind of interested in duplicators, again, we'll do this again. Duplicator. We can duplicate multiple things using some of that uranium, some of the electrotine that we've been mining. We can make elite control circuits. I can make more diamonds. I can make copper and gold if you really so feel the need. We can duplicate the pistol magazines. We can duplicate assault rifles. This is a very nice thing because I'm actually using that process. I have that weapon. That's my main weapon. Plus, get back over here. We have a quest for this stuff. And it's kind of a pain in the butt to make because I don't have the lapis. Redstone. Oh, blue science, green science, red science, and yellow science. This process right here uses so much of the amount of stuff in my system, in my network, that it's ridiculous. That's the one main thing that I really just don't care for because of the amount of stuff that thing takes to make. We're going to be doing that. And like I said, I think we're probably going to be building them. They're pretty big, so I may end up doing something, but I don't know exactly where I'm going to build them, but probably right around in this general area here. The other thing is all this stuff up here. Now that we have applied energistics. This is titanium. This is uranium. That's aluminum dust or pulverized aluminum. All of this junk can go away because if I interface that stuff in over here, that cable comes over into this building. So I can just dump another IO port in down over there and make these 3 things happen. Plus this one we can just pull out of that system. So it's going to be some stuff that I'm going to be doing in between episodes. But I think for right now we've probably talked long enough. I will see you guys in the next episode, and thank you for watching.